Let's build out the basic structure for our app component. We'll go to app.js and remove the app class as well as the component import from React. We'll change app to a stateless functional component, and it'll have one component from Semantic UI React, the grid component. So include a set of grid tags, and within the grid we'll have a number of custom components. We'll have a color panel component, a side panel component, a messages component, and finally a meta panel component. We'll create a folder for our color panel, which will include a color panel component. Up at the top we'll import React. This will be a stateful component, so it will be class color panel extends react.component. We'll have our render and return. For now we'll just return a div, the text of color panel, and then export it. You can copy all this markup, and we'll create our next folder within the components folder, side panel, with its corresponding component side panel. We'll paste all that in, all the markup we copied, change the class to side panel, the text to side panel, and the export to side panel. And we'll do the same for our messages component. We'll include a file of messages, paste in our markup, and change the class name, the text, and the export. We'll have one final folder, meta panel, with a component of the same name. Paste in the markup. So will be class meta panel, div, the text of meta panel, and export the component. Within app we'll import each of these components within their respective folders. Color panel from color panel, side panel from side panel / side panel, messages from messages / messages, meta panel from meta panel / meta panel. You can save all those files, take a look at our app component. You can see the components are lined up next to one another. Now we'll use grid to organize the components a bit better. We'll set the columns prop to equal, class name will be app, and we'll give it a style prop with the background rule set to the hex code EEE. Now we'll leave the color panel and side panel off to the side. They won't have their own column, but we'll wrap messages and meta panel in a set of grid column tags. For messages, we want to offset it from color panel and side panel by giving it a style prop, and that'll include a rule where margin left will be set to 320 pixels. And we'll do the same with meta panel. We'll wrap it in grid column tags, and we'll give it a width of 4. Now since Semantic UI uses a 16-point grid system, this means that the meta panel column will take up a width of 1/4 of the page width. If we save that file, we take a look at our app, you can see the basic structure that each of our components within our chat will have.